So, welcome back. On one side, we have a towering, imposing skyscraper, the corporate machine itself, adorned with a dollar sign reaching for a storm filled sky. And below it, the workers are teething to a massive, worn out gear labeled well being, dragging it across the cracked, dry earth. Yet, the energy and the output of their struggle aren't flowing back to them. Instead, the golden chain of value is bypassing them and turning smaller gear and eventually accelerating into a colossal, radiant sphere labeled profit and resting in the deceptively sunny meadows. So this isn't just a dark imaginary, it is a representation of shareholders' primary model, the dominant philosophy that governs global corporations. We see the ruthless extractions of value, environmental cost in the background, and the singular gravitational pull of bottom line. But here is a critical question our video is addressing, and is this purely a profit driven approach or a necessary evil? Is paradoxically structure that ensure the most stability and long-term success for the entire economy. So today we are diving deep into the fiduciary duty and legally compel corporations to choose profit, why this strategy can sometimes be considered as good business choices, and what happens to the well-being gear all along the way. So to understand why companies choose profit, we must understand the law, the legal framework in the place. Like US, the concept of fiduciary duty dictates that the corporate world or board must act in the best financial interest of the shareholders. So this is a golden chain you see flowing through the corporation to profit sphere. And this sphere represent maximum shareholder return. In most traditional and rigid interpretations, if CEO divert significant capital away from the activities that is maximize the profit, even if it's not for something as noble as community health or employee well-being, they could be seen as violating their duty. So imagine a decision. Should we invest in $1 million in the new factory that cuts the production cost and boost next quarter's earning? Or should we spend the same $1 million upgrading employee childcare facilities? So the pressure from the market and from their legal obligation most always push the needle towards the profit boosting factory. So this is a shareholder primacy model in action, and its core argument is that by relentlessly pursuing profit, the company is creating a maximum possible economic value, and this value through the investment, taxes, dividends, and theoretically benefit everyone else in the system. So system believes that the pursuit of giant golden sphere by definition is pursuit of universal good. So this focus provides an incredible clarity and efficiency, but what happens to the gear that provides the momentum? So the workers dragging the heavy gear labeled well-being represent human and environmental cost, often externalizing by the profit first strategy. When the profit is only metrics, things like fair wages, safety standards, environment stewardship, and the employee satisfaction become the cost to be minimized, not the value to be maximized. So the smoke stacks in the background as the potent symbol of this externalization. And why clean up the pollution if it cuts into the profit? So why pay a living wage if you can find a cheaper labor? So these decisions are not made because of the board is necessarily malicious, but because they are operating under a system that penalize them for not being the most ruthless efficient. So this leads to us to a counter argument, the stakeholder theory. This theory represented by the neglect gear suggests that a corporation has a duty to all its stockholders and employees, customers, suppliers, and the community are not just the shareholders. So the profit first approach often creates instability. A company that abuses its environment will face regulatory crackdowns. A company that burns out its workers will suffer from a high turnover, low quality, and in the long run, dragging the well-being gear across. The dirt is not just unethical, it is becoming long-term business liability. So this realization has given rise to concept of corporate social responsibility as we know it, CSR and ESG, environment, social and governance criteria. And this is essentially attempt to bolt the well-being gear back into the corporate engine. But are they genuine? Are just good or just a good PR? So I also actually invite you to discuss and think about this. Now, going forward, let's confront the controversial core of our video. Why might choosing a profit over people be good for business? It is an uncomfortable, harsh truth. But the stable, high efficiency, profit driven corporation can often the best vehicle for overall social wealth. So first, clarity and focus, that is where we have to really discuss. The singular pursuit of the profit sphere provides a clear, measurable metrics for success, and this efficiency attracts capital, and which is then deployed to innovation, building infrastructure, create job, even if they are difficult jobs. The second option of or second part of this whole discussion is market discipline. A company that is not relentlessly profitable will eventually fail, and its asset will be reallocated and to a more efficient competitor. And this brutal but efficient system ensure the capital is not wasted on a poor run businesses, ultimately leads to a lower cost and better product for consumer. And the third aspect is tax revenue. The most profitable companies pay the most tax. So this revenue is primary engine for public service, infrastructure, education. Irony of this whole scenario is the social safety nets that the worker dragging the well-being gear often depends on. So here is the modern twist. So many companies are realizing that the sunlit meadows where the giant profit sphere rest actually requires elements of sustainability, and the solar panel in the distance suggests that sometimes the investigating in sustainability is actually the most profitable long-term decision. Choosing to avoid or massive future environmental actually fine is a profit maximum decision. So the question is not if the corporation should pursue profit, but how it is legally and morally bound to account for the cost it offloads into the well-being gear. So the image is a masterpiece of economic tension. So it shows that the current reality, the corporate laws, the market pressure overwhelmingly favor the giants and gleaming the sphere of profit. The workers, the well-being and the environment are often viewed as a means to that end and as unfortunate externalities, and so which is definitely the scenario which we are discussing. However, the most successful enduring company of the next century will be those that realize the sunlit meadows of sustainable profit is not only reachable, and they stop actively destroying the ground of the workers and stand on. So they must find a way to re-engineer the system, not just for the shareholders' primacy, but the sustainable shareholders' value. So this doesn't mean giving up the profit. It means recognizing and engaged healthy workforce and stable environment are the true engine of long-term economic superiority. So image asks us to choose the sides, but perhaps the future of the global businesses lies in bringing or bridging the gap. So it requires conscious leadership and critical and a change as how we legally define the fiduciary duty. So which gear do you think deserve more weight in the corporate engine? So should CEOs duty to be solely to shareholder, or should it be to a larger group of stakeholders, including environmental and definitely the worker or workforce? So let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you find this decision provoking, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to understand the true drives of global business. So till next time, you take care. See you. Bye bye.